Hey guys, Credible Crypto here. This is my newest YouTube video. It has been a little bit of time since my last YouTube video, and a lot of things have happened since then. In this particular YouTube video, I'm going to focus on two coins, XRP and Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about both, I'd say equally in the video. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin because what's happening on Bitcoin is very important. Since my last Bitcoin update, I talked about, we were sitting about 11K my last Bitcoin update, and in that one I talked about how I believed we were headed to 14K. Initially, before I made the video, I was expecting a move back down potentially to this low 9K region, 9.4, 9.5K, this region right here. And that video was specifically talking about why I had changed my bias and why I believe we were going to rip to the upside and ultimately head for 14K. That was made, I think, when we were down around here at 11,000. Of course, soon after I made that video, we did actually rip to the upside just as I was expecting. We broke the highs here at 14K. These were the highs that I was eyeing, and we pushed all the way to 19.5K, just shy of our all-time high, and we've now made a little bit of a correction down, and we're currently trading around 17.6K. So I'm going to talk about where I see Bitcoin headed from here. There's a lot to talk about on Bitcoin, to be frank, since that last move, and then I'm going to talk about XRP, of course. XRP having made a massive move over the coming week or so, and I'm going to talk about where I think it's headed from here and what I expect to happen in the coming weeks and months. So guys, let's jump right into it. I'm going to start with Bitcoin. We'll work our way to XRP. For those of you who are just interested in XRP, I still highly recommend you watch the Bitcoin portion of this video because it will have an effect on what XRP does, just the way it works, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so here's the Bitcoin chart. This is a clean chart. We're going to work our way forward from this, but I want to start by saying that I do believe that we will not see sub 10K Bitcoin again for a long time, if ever, okay? I do think that this level right here is now essentially our bottom. Actually, it's not even that level. It is actually this level right here, okay? I believe that's our bottom. That's our new floor. In other words, I don't think we're going to see below 10,156 anytime soon, if ever again. And let's talk about why this is the case. You'll recall from my last video on Bitcoin, there was a key level that I mentioned that as long as we hold, we're headed to 14K. And I expected that level to hold. I'm going to go ahead and mark that level off on this chart so you guys can see that level. And I said it was the most perfect retest that we're ever going to get, the most perfect buying opportunity, and that any dips into this region were buy the dip opportunities because I was expecting a move to 14K next, guys. We can see from this chart that really was the perfect buy the dip opportunity. And soon after we tested this region, we ended up shooting right up past 14K, up to $19,000. And so from a wave count perspective, and we're going to talk about Elliott wave count, we're going to talk about supply and demand, we're going to talk about price action. There's something in here for everyone. If you're not familiar with Elliott wave, again, I've said this many times in my past videos, but to be very simple about it, it is a study of market structure, all right? The premise behind Elliott wave is the same premise that price action traders use when trading market structure, and I have a lot of people that say Elliott wave is garbage, it doesn't make any sense. And again, it's, in my opinion, that's talking from ignorance, because literally what I'm doing with Elliott wave is the same thing that these guys are doing with market structure. It's the exact same concept. It's as if you're talking the same words in two different languages, basically. That's the best way I can put it. But let me get right back to it. This was our first impulse wave off of the lows. We've talked about this in my prior videos. This, in my opinion, was the start of our new bull cycle. This was the first move that convinced me that the bear market was complete and that we had started a new bullish cycle. A very clean 5 subwave move. The third wave having of itself a very clean 5 subwave division. We can go down to the lower time frames and you can just see how clean this move was. But we have 1, 2, 3. Running flat 4 and a 5. We have a running flat wave, larger wave 4. Then we have our 5th blow off top impulse. And I've said from the beginning that what I've been waiting for since this impulse and after this correction is for another impulse to present itself. To indicate that we have now completed the wave 2 correction and that we have started our wave 3 impulse, all right? And lo and behold, that is exactly what we got off of these lows here at 10K. When we started moving up off of 10K, did I know that this would ultimately end up becoming a clean impulse? I did not. I had assumed that this move off of 10K up above 14K, which was our last high, would be a corrective move. All right. I was not expecting it to take the shape of an impulse, to take impulsive structure, but it has. And that is why I am so extraordinarily bullish right now and why I do believe that this is our new low. Let's go into the wave count. We're going to jump right into the wave count. I'm going to show you how I'm counting this move up, why I think it's the start of our major third wave. All right, guys, so here is the wave count on Bitcoin. We're going to jump into this right here. But this is why I do believe that we've started our major third wave here. I'm going to go down to the lower time frame so we can dissect this. This is really the only main count that makes sense to me. All right, and let's jump right into it. So if you recall from my last YouTube video, we were right here, right? And I mentioned, or I think we were like right somewhere around this chop, and I mentioned that this to me looked like a truncated bottom, right? This looked like a truncated 5-wave move down, which completed this truncated ABC, which again would have surprised a lot of people. This is why I was bullish, expecting a move up when many were looking for a move back below 9,800 to clear these lows. I recognized that this move was likely truncated, and that is what had formed my bullish bias or break to the upside. Of course, soon after we did that, so assuming that we did get our truncated bottom here, which now looks to have been correct since we broke 14K, let us talk about the wave count, right? We have our first move off of the truncated bottom, which would be our wave 1. We have some sort of a corrective structure. Now, this corrective structure or even the wave 1, this could be some sort of a WXY, XZ. It could be any number of corrective structures. All we know that it is a sideways choppy movement. So that completes our major wave 2. From there, we have another impulsive move to the upside that could either end here or it could end here. It really does not matter which place it ends. It probably makes a little bit more sense to end here. But either way, we have our subwave 1, we have our subwave 2, a very clean, clear, impulsive move for our subwave 3, a very nice running flat move, or maybe a double 3 for our subwave 4, and a final impulsive subwave 5. This completed our major third subwave. From there, we have what I believe to be an ascending triangle. It has legs of 3 corrective structures. It makes an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, the D not going higher than the B, and then a truncated E, which is expected for a triangle. We expect triangles to have 4 touches. We have 1 touch here, 1 touch here, 1 touch here, 1 touch here. The E does not touch the lower end of this trend line, as it should not. And then from there, we again impulse to the upside. And initially, this fourth wave I thought was maybe a running flat, an ABC, and that we started our impulse off of this level. But if we go down to the even lower time frames, we can see that off of this low we have chop. We don't really have a clear move, but off of this low we have a very clean and clear 5-wave move. We have to go even lower for that, but you can see here that off of this low we have a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that told me that our impulse probably started off of this low, and then I noticed that we had 2 equal highs with ascending lows, and that told me that this is likely a triangle. Now, the fact that this is a triangle helps us a lot because it solidifies the idea that our count thus far is likely correct, because triangles occur in wave 4 as an impulse, nowhere else. So the fact that we had a completed wave 3 and then we had a nice wave 4, that added credence to the fact that thus far this count is likely correct, okay? Which means after this wave 4, we're looking for the 5th and final wave to the upside, okay? From this 4th wave, we got another impulse. Now, this impulse could have been the final 5th wave, and that could have been it for the rally, and we could have seen a correction off of $16,000. And this is initially what I would have expected. From there, though, we got a 3-wave move down, a 3-wave move up, and then another corrective move down. And this took the shape of a beautiful, clean running flat, okay? There's no way, in my opinion, that this can be counted as impulsive because we just have way too much chop here. If this was the wave 1, this was the wave 2, this was the wave 3, then the wave 4 enters wave 1 territory. Or even if it doesn't, it's just barely shy of wave 1. That's not typical for an impulse. Even the subwave structure just doesn't look great. We have one move up. This would have to be a running flat wave 2. I have a 3rd wave, a 4th wave. Okay, maybe that's a 5th wave. Maybe that's a subwave 1. Maybe that's a subwave 2, but just a straight leg down on its own. That's typically corrections are three subwave structures. So that already looks suspect as a wave 2. Then to count this move up as a wave 3, we have a 1, 2. I have this as a subwave 1 looks ugly. Subwave 2, subwave 3. This is a wave 4 enters wave 1 territory. Then this is a wave 5. We have a move up, we have a choppy move, and then we have another move up. There's no way that can be counted as a 5-wave move. So this move off of this low, so this high is not impulsive in my opinion. I just cannot see a way in which it is impulsive. So corrective move, corrective move, corrective move. Obviously, this is a corrective move. Now we have a nice 3-legged flat correction. Okay, what that tells me is that the 5th wave did not end here. Okay, after that, I realized things are more bullish than expected. This is not the completion of the 5th wave. If anything, this is our first subwave of 5. Okay, now we have our second subwave of the 5th wave, 3rd subwave of the 5th wave maybe, and this is where things get interesting. All right, guys. After this corrective structure, we got another impulse, a very clean and clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can go down the lower time frames. You guys can check it yourself. A very clean impulse here. What that means is that at the bare minimum, if this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, then this has to be a 4, and we still have to get a 5, okay? And this is why I've been saying that I expect all-time highs before 15.8K is lost. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, I've been going on about how I'm bullish here, and I'm expecting all-time highs to break before 15.8K does. The reason 15.8K is so vital right now is because it's a start of this impulse move to the upside. If this was our fourth wave, we need at least 3 impulses up to complete the fifth wave. All I have right now is 1, and I have 2. I have 2 impulses. I need 3. So in my opinion, this move up is not yet complete, which means that we're likely to get one more impulse to the upside. It could even be starting now. And all-time high will likely break, in my opinion, before 15.8K is lost. Now, what's even more important, all right, is that, I don't want to confuse you guys, so let me delete that for a second, okay? And as it stands, this is the way that we would have been counting it, okay? We're currently working on this final fifth wave off of our low here. This is our first, second, third, fourth. Currently working on the final fifth, okay, which is extending. And we would have counted this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would expect, okay, one more wave up for the fifth to complete, and then we get a massive correction, okay? However, this wave 4 has retraced very deep, and that's not typical. It's almost in wave 1 territory. It's not yet, so it's still technically valid as a 1, 2, 3, 4. But typically when we get deep wave 2s, which I would consider this deep because it retraced over 50% of the wave 1, we tend to get shallow wave 4s, okay? On top of that, this first wave and this third wave are about equal in size. Typically the third wave extends. It becomes at least 1.618 of the first wave. In a normal move, this is likely to be extended fifth. It's likely to be even larger than that. So this does not look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me anymore, okay? 5 to me anymore. More likely this is a 1, 2, 1, 2. Or this is a 1, 2, I don't even know. Yeah, it'd have to be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Or our 5-wave move completed here. This is a subwave 2, and this is the start of our major third. Bottom line, guys, I do think that as long as 15.8K holds, we're not just going to break all-time high, but we may go significantly higher in the coming weeks. Okay, we may go significantly higher than 20K before seeing a major correction. Now, this may surprise some people. I myself included, up until very recently, was looking for a major correction after breaking all-time high. Or I was expecting all-time high to maybe get wicked, maybe break above slightly 21K, 22K. Then I was looking for a 30 to 40% correction down to 13 to 14K, all right? Or even lower than that, 11 to 12K. Again, no lower than 10K. This is my bottom, in my opinion. We're not going lower than that. But 10 to 12K, 13 to 14K, these types of big corrections are typical after parabolic moves. And what we're seeing right here is definitely the start of a parabolic move. However, these types of corrections only occur once a parabolic move is complete. And what I'm telling you guys right now is that I do think that we're going to extend a lot higher than all-time high before this parabolic move completes because of the wave structure that I'm seeing here. This move up looks like a potential 1, 2, 1, 2, which means we're going to get a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the third. All right. So that's going to look like this. So we have our 1, we have our 2, our third may complete up there, our fourth may complete here, and we may get a fifth. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Something like this before we get a 30 to 40% correction. And now once we're up above in the high 20s to low 30s and we get a 30 to 40% correction, that just takes us back to the all-time high. It doesn't take us down to 14K. If we get a 50% correction, yes, it can. But my point that I'm getting at here is I'm not so confident that we visit 13 to 14K right after breaking all-time high. And furthermore, I'm not so confident that we will even get 13 to 14K. And that's why I want to make this major video update. Now, let me talk about where this 13 to 14K comes and why a lot of people are looking for it. Historically, Bitcoin has made 30 to 40% corrections, all right, after breaking all-time high. It's happened, okay? But there's an important aspect that I want to go over here because this is the key to it all, right? Many are expecting Bitcoin to break 20K, maybe go to 21, 22, and then head back down to 13, 14. Let me tell you why I think that may not actually happen. I've already explained why I think it may not actually happen, but let me go back and let's look at this from a historical perspective. There have been a few times that Bitcoin has broken prior all-time high, and in every time that we've moved up in that type of a fashion, we have seen 30 to 40% corrections. The difference is where and when do those corrections occur? Because not all of them have occurred after Bitcoin has broken all-time high. Some of them have occurred after Bitcoin has rallied far past all-time high, in which case sub all-time high prices were never seen again until the bull cycle top. Let's take our first break of all-time high here. We see that Bitcoin broke the prior all-time high. This was back in 2011 of $30.75. it did not see a major correction, okay, until we hit $275. And from there, we did see a 80% correction, okay? But that did not take us lower than the prior all-time high. The next time that we broke the all-time high at that point was $267. We broke all-time high. We did not see a 30 to 40% correction until we hit the next all-time high at $1,221, some 4 times higher than the prior high, okay? And from there, we saw once again a much larger, that was a start. This was 2013. That was the start of our bear market. So we saw a massive correction, right? But that was after we peaked. The next time that we broke all-time high, now this is the one time in our history that we have seen a 30 to 40% correction soon after breaking all-time high. I will repeat, the prior 2 times, okay, besides what happened in 2017, the prior 2 times that Bitcoin broke its all-time high, it just kept on rallying. And we did not see a major correction until the next bull market peak was reached, okay? I want to emphasize that. That occurred here, that occurred here, okay? Now, this was in the same year, so maybe you can say, okay, that was only one incident. But my point is that the amount of times that we've seen, I mean, and we have very little data to work with to begin with, but there can be equal arguments made here that Bitcoin will correct soon after hitting 20K and it will not correct soon after 20K. In other words, anything can happen. We know that, but many seem to be, and again, myself included up until very recently, seem to be expecting this move down to 13 to 14K to occur sometime soon. And what I'm getting at is load up on your altcoins now, load up on your coins now, because I don't necessarily think that is going to happen. And in 2017, we broke all-time high. We saw a 30% correction from the highs. Okay, 40% correction from the highs. We broke all-time high again. We saw another 30% correction, and then we rallied to new all-time highs. And I think this is what most are kind of hoping is going to happen here. We're going to break 20K. We're going to hit 21, 22. We're going to come back down to 13, 14. Everyone's going to load up, and we're going to rocket to the moon. However, I simply do not think that is going to be the case anymore based on the wave count that I'm seeing. This wave count is just so extremely bullish right now because of the wave structure that I'm seeing, that I simply do not see a way in which, I mean, technically this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we could hit this and come down. But again, it seems a lot more likely to me that we just continue up. And by the time if we do push to 30,000, for example, on this parabolic move, sure, we're going to get a 30 to 40% correction, absolutely. But you know where that's going to take us? It's just going to take us back to all-time high, all right? Which means that 13 to 14K region that everyone is eyeing up may not come to fruition. Am I saying it absolutely won't? No, I'm not. I'm saying, yeah, it could. I'm just saying don't think it's guaranteed at this stage, okay? And prior to this, I myself was very convinced that 13 to 14K is going to be revisited, all right? It just made sense to me. And based off of the developing wave count, it looks a lot less likely to me. It looks more likely that we do break up over all-time high and rally significantly. And then maybe we get a pullback. And then maybe we continue up from there. And 13 to 14K never gets met, all right? So that's my update here on Bitcoin. I've talked about the wave count. This is really the primary reason why I am believing that this is going to happen. And the key to all this, where is the invalidation? When will I be wrong? When will this not be the case, all right? If 15.8K is hit, even a wick down to this region, it means that this move up completed the structure, even though it looks very incomplete to me. And I can't see a valid count that has this move up completing the structure. If we hit 15.8K, it means that the move up was complete, all right? And that indicates that we could see 13 to 14K. That opens up the doors to 13 to 14K or even 11 to 12K. But as long as this level is held, I do not believe that that is going to happen, all right? Let's now jump into XRP. I know this is, a lot of you guys have been waiting for this. I've covered Bitcoin. I've covered my expectations. Let's jump into XRP at this point in time. All right, guys, here is XRP. Before we start on XRP, I'm going to play a small clip from one of my last videos on XRP. I think the last video I did on XRP that pretty much summarizes what my expectations were. Back at that time, we were trading at around 24 cents. It pretty much played out exactly how I was expecting it to, but I want to play that video because much of what I'm going to say right now is going to be a repetition of that. I'd rather just play the video than repeat it all. The same situation is present. The same wave count is present. Exactly what I was expecting has happened. So there haven't really been many changes, but I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. It's going to be like a 30-second, 1-minute clip. And then we'll go on to today's update on XRP. So this was Bitcoin's first major wave one from 3K to 14K, very explosive move. And basically that's what I expect that we're seeing here now on XRP, or in the first stages of it at least. This is our first major wave one that we're working on right now. Similar to the move off 3.1K for Bitcoin. then our major wave, our major wave 2, then our major wave 3, our 4, and our 5. And again, 67 cents being the bare minimum for the wave 3, okay, could definitely go further than that. Then we get some consolidation for the 4th, and then our 5th wave, which should be like a blow off top where we essentially go parabolic, that could push us up to about $1. We'll have to wait and see. But basically, XRP is getting ready for a very explosive move. And basically, again, as I said, I'm accumulating all I can underneath 30 cents. And if we get a wick down to 24 cents, that's a bonus. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But right now is not a time to be freaking out about why XRP isn't moving, guys. And the only reason it's not moving is because it's gearing up for an explosive move to the upside. All right, guys, so that was the update on XRP, and you can see that right after we consolidated here in the 23 to 24 cent region, we then impulsed up as I was expecting, right? And I do believe that currently the wave count is really that simple, that we've made a major wave 1, this was our major wave 2, and this is our major wave 3, all right? I mentioned that the minimum target for the major wave 3 is going to be 60-something cents. We've hit that minimum target. We could definitely go higher to about $1. This is the next major area of resistance. Then I'm expecting maybe some sideways consolidation for a wave 4 before a major wave 5th, which could absolutely extend, okay? Now, one thing that I want to make very clear here is in all past prior times that Bitcoin has broken all-time high, these alts have typically reached their all-time highs within 2 months, okay? What that means is, as you already know based on the first half of this video, I am expecting Bitcoin to break all-time high within the next week or 2 weeks. And so what I'm trying to say is that I suspect that XRP breaks its all-time high within the next 1 to 2 months after Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. And the point of me saying this is that I think that this type of a move could accelerate rather rapidly, more rapidly than any of us could really expect or imagine once Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. I would take you back to the prior rallies on XRP once Bitcoin has broken its all-time high, and we can just take a look at how quickly this thing accelerated. Let me go ahead and clean this chart up. And actually, this isn't even the most price action, but this was back in 2017 when Bitcoin broke its all-time high, and literally as soon as Bitcoin broke its all-time high, XRP took off and it moved up. I mean, a massive amount. How much was this? Some 100%. Wait, that's even more actually. Sorry. That's going to be 1,000%. And that happened in a matter of, how long did that take? So this was March. Within a month, right? Because this is exactly what my point is, that while we are moving up aggressively and we're looking for pullbacks, don't sell spot here. I would not be selling XRP spot here because we could absolutely get something like this where we move up a 10x within a month, right? In this sense, XRP ended up breaking its prior all-time high within a month after Bitcoin broke its prior all-time high. And we will see that, I think, repeated again, because as soon as Bitcoin breaks all-time high, it gets all over the news, and new speculators step in with fresh money, and that's what causes this stuff to go parabolic, right? But as far as wave structure is concerned, I mentioned that just to get our first major impulse complete, we need to see 5 waves. We see 1, we see 2. We're working on our 3rd, which isn't complete yet, which I think will probably tap out around $1. Then we may get some sideways consolidation, and then we may get our major 5th. When should you guys look to enter? When should you guys look to buy the dip? On my Twitter, if you guys have been following me there. And again, guys, if you don't follow me on Twitter, I post much more frequent updates on Twitter because it's just easier for me to get the content out. Making YouTube videos does take up a lot of time. It takes a few hours with editing and everything. So you'll see much more smaller, shorter updates on Twitter. Follow me there at Credible Crypto. But if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I did mark off this zone as the major buy the dip zone. All right, there's key levels here on XRP. This red level, does it look familiar? It should look familiar because it's exactly the same as our Bitcoin level at 10K that we retested and then we shot up from, right? We had rejection, rejection, rejection. We broke through, retested it, and then we continued up. Because of wave structure, all right, the wave structure on XRP is a little bit more different than Bitcoin. I simply do not think that we will see the red region again. This would be the ideal, most obvious level to buy the dip because it's a retest of that perfect area of resistance, similar to the retest that we got on Bitcoin. But frankly, I simply don't think we're going to make a move down that low. And the reason that I say this is because for a 4th wave to move down that low, not only does it look completely off, but it would actually invalidate the move up because then we'd have 4th wave entering wave 1 territory. 4th wave should not enter wave 1 territory, which tells me that until our 5th wave completes, and again, we don't know where it's going to complete, but until our 5th wave completes, we cannot get, or we should not get down to the 30 cent region. What can happen is we can complete the 5th and then get a major wave 2 down to 30 cents. That's just as unlikely, in my opinion, as the wave 4 hitting 30 cents. So bottom line, I don't think we're going to see 30 cent XRP again. And I do think that the next major area of resistance is going to be this 90 cent to $1 region. And furthermore, as I mentioned, in our past history, once Bitcoin breaks all-time high, alts are quick to follow. I don't necessarily think that we're going to get any major retracements on XRP even after hitting $1. I think that the best opportunity that you're going to get to buy XRP is happening right now, okay? This buy the dip zone, if it gets met, I think is going to be your best chance to load up on XRP one last time for the absolute cheapest prices you can possibly get before we see new all-time high. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll remember that just a few days ago I posted, if you can buy XRP within 38 cents to 55 cents, it's a blessing, okay? And why I said that was because while this is the ideal buy the dip zone that logically could be tested, right, without invalidating any rules, okay? While this is the logical buy the dip zone between 38 to 42 cents, that doesn't mean we're going to get it, all right? And we have a major area of cluster of support right here, major cluster of demand, which is why we've bounced off of it right now. There's a chance that this was the bottom at 45 cents. If we manage to get one more leg down with the rest of the market, then this is going to be the dream buy area. But any buys within 38 cents, which is down here, to 55 cents, which is up here, are incredible buys at this time. And I said that when we were maybe up here or something like that. We dipped down to 45 cents. And I mentioned I would be laddering buys all the way down to 38 cents. Hopefully some of you did. Hopefully some of you got filled, because that, in my opinion, is probably the best chance we're going to get unless we make one more lower low, which at this stage is not guaranteed. Okay. After this happens, after this correction completes, with Bitcoin likely to break 20K and, in my opinion, continue higher, alts are going to continue higher as well. I think that we may, depending on whether or not this correction is complete, we may push up to $1 or so, maybe clear these highs here at 96 cents. On Coinbase, we've already pushed up to 90 something cents, which is just, and then we saw a massive rejection, which is, which makes sense because there's a major area of resistance here. But after we hit that, we maybe get some sideways consolidation, and then I think we erupt for the fifth wave, which I think is going to extend. And who knows, it could take us above all-time high again. 2 months after Bitcoin breaks all-time high, I think there's a good chance that XRP breaks its all-time high, which means we see some rapid acceleration here in the coming weeks and months. Okay. I also want to, again, repeat, and this is something that if you guys are interested more in this, you can watch my last video. Again, I'll add it to the end of this video about why XRP lagging makes me more bullish and why the amount of time that we've stayed at the bottom here has essentially reduced sell pressure up the higher that we go, meaning that we are through the hardest part in terms of price appreciation. And everything essentially above, I would say 133-ish, this is all very open, free air. There's not going to be much sell pressure, in my opinion. And we're going to move up through this region in a very rapid pace, similar to what we saw here, a very rapid, aggressive move up once we get past around 120, 130-ish, okay? Once we get past that region, I think we're going to cover this ground very quickly, which is why I think we could get a major extended fifth wave and break all-time high in the coming, weeks or months. So that is my thoughts on XRP here, guys. It's very simple at this stage. I'm not selling any spot. I will not sell spot to buy lower. It doesn't make any sense. At 59 cents, you are essentially very close to the bottom, the new bottom, okay? The new bottom, in my opinion, being 38 to 40 cents, because I don't think 30 cents will ever be seen again. So if 38 to 40 cents is the bottom, and you're sitting here at 60 cents with a target of above 330 in the next 2 months, why in the world would you risk selling at 60 cents to buy back 20 cents lower? The downside potential, the potential of downside here is so minimal. That's 30%, okay, from where we are today, compared to the potential for upside, which is 431%. Why would you risk selling here to buy back for a 30% discount when you could potentially miss out on a 430% move, right? What happens is people will sell here to buy back lower because they think, hey, I can increase my stack by 30%. And then instead of dropping down, maybe we continue higher. And now they're thinking, crap, should I buy back in? It's at 80 cents. No, I should wait. It's going to pull back. It goes up to 90 cents, $1. Finally, they're like, all right, forget it. I'm going to buy back in. Okay. Number one, you just missed out on you just essentially halved your stack because your stack would have been worth double at $1 from 50 cents. And number two, we end up rejecting at 96 cents. Maybe we get a pullback to 78. And now you're thinking this is the big correction. And then you sell out again. And then it's just a back and forth, jumping in, jumping out of your portfolio, trying to catch this train until you realize by the time we get to all-time high, you've already reduced your stack to a tenth of what it would have been, right? My point is, it doesn't make sense at this stage to be trading these moves with your spot holdings. Trade them with your trading portfolio. And you guys know, if those of you in my Discord know, that I keep a separate trading portfolio and a separate spot portfolio for this exact reason. Trade these moves to your heart's desire on your trading account. That's what it's for. It's for trading. But your spot holdings that you've put into cold storage, that you've locked away, that you're holding for new all-time highs, don't make the mistake of getting greedy here and trying to sell to buy back 10, 20, 30% lower when we're looking at a 400 to 500% move within the coming months. It doesn't make any sense, guys. All I would do myself right now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is what I personally am doing myself, is I'm taking advantage of these drops if and when they come by buying more spot, which I'm not going to be selling until new all-time high. That's it. I'm not selling any spot that I have that I've accumulated in the last 6 months to a year. I've accumulated a lot of XRP. I'm not going to sell a single bit of it until we break new all-time high. And again, my expectations here, and it really doesn't get more simple than this, is that we're seeing a massive impulse and we're likely to accelerate to the upside very rapidly in the coming weeks and months. Again, if you want to understand why I think we're going to accelerate so rapidly here, check out my other YouTube video on XRP lagging. I'll add it to the end of this video. But other than that, guys, there really isn't much to update here. What it's gonna come down to, and let me repeat this, is what Bitcoin does here in the coming weeks and months. If Bitcoin, like I'm expecting, breaks all-time high and continues to rally in the coming weeks or months and doesn't get a 30 to 40% correction soon after breaking all-time high, you're also going to go absolutely nuts, all right? If Bitcoin breaks all-time high and doesn't get much further than that, and we see a 30 to 40% correction, then guys, eyes on the buy the dip zone, because that will come into play if that is to occur. But right now, as it stands, and I'm long on Bitcoin from the low 16Ks because of my expectation that we don't see sub 15.8K right now. As it stands, I think we're in for a major rally over the coming weeks and months, not only on Bitcoin, but on alts as well. And I think now is the time to be buying as much as you can. Again, not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is just what I'm doing personally based on my analysis. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, guys. That is what keeps me making these videos. Again, it does take me a lot of time and effort to make these. Hours. It takes hours of my day. It's a Saturday. I should be out. I can't be out because of COVID, but it's a Saturday. It's a weekend. I should be relaxing. I'm making this YouTube video for you guys because I promised you guys that I would. A lot of you guys have been looking forward to it, but it helps me. It encourages me to make them more often when you guys like, share, and subscribe. So please, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. It encourages me to keep making these. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brought some insight. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll try and get to all the questions. You guys can keep up to my more recent updates on Twitter. I also have a private Discord. If you guys are interested in that, you can find out more information by DMing me on Twitter about that. And that group is where I teach individuals to chart the way that I do, to understand how I analyze these charts, to make sense of it, what it is that I do, essentially with the idea of allowing you guys to do what I do on your own, so you're not dependent on my updates. If you guys have interest in that, please just reach out to me. We've been doing it for over 1.5 years now, and it's been progressing beautifully. Guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys next time.